Good afternoon, everybody. Sammy's here today to tell everyone his story about his lived experience of alcohol-related brain injury, and he's wanting to talk through his rehabilitation journey so far.
Hello, I'm Sammy, known as Sammy the Cat because, as I've been told, of the 9 lives. So I hope I've not really used them all right. I was diagnosed with RBD between 2018 and 2018 and 2019, and this is where my journey begins. It's important for me to live my life to the fullest. I want to share my story today to highlight that there is life after brain damage or brain injury. What my life was like before. I previously lived in England working as a specialist floor layer, and my family were important to me. I had four daughters and 3 sons. Sadly, one of my sons died, but I was drinking before that. But when that happened, the drink spiraled completely out of control, big time. I was paid every week well, but I was always skint because I always owed out money, and that put a lot of pressure on the family life that I had there in Halifax. This is where my life began to change. Life became chaotic, and I was unable to function as I could do before. I could no longer work, I could no longer drive, I could no longer support my family. I got involved in things that I shouldn't have done. No matter what support my family or anybody gave me, I just couldn't put down a drink. I just couldn't put it down. I don't remember much a lot of this time, so my friends and family have been kind of filling in the blanks. I had to leave my family home. I moved back to Scotland on my own. By police, I was returned to my dad, and I was admitted into a mental hospital, and I done a wee bit of work in there. After this, they put me into a house, supported accommodation. It didn't go well because in the Hogmanay, I got up, steaming drunk, house is cold, ice outside. I put the cooker on and went back to bed. And I set fire to the flat when I was trying to heat it up using the cooker, causing hundreds of thousands of pounds of damage, because it wasn't just me that got it was the full side, causing a lot of damage. I had to leave the flat. I kind of ran away from it, and that was in Edinburgh. I tried to go to my sisters, explain what happened. They took me to council, and they tried to present me as homeless because I had no home to go back to, sort of thing. And the council advised me they couldn't help me. I was there all day, crying my eyes out, and they eventually offered me something. It was a wee flat, it was a wee scatter flat. I was allowed bedroom, bed and your wee couch and that in your living room. Wasn't allowed a cooker. They gave me a microwave, and my safety awareness wasn't very good, and about 4 boiled eggs in a bowl in the microwave, switched the toaster on, switched the kettle on. I turned to walk out the kitchen, and the microwave door hit the wall. And it's a good job that the microwave is at this side of me and the wall at my door was here, because the eggshells were embedded in the wall, and the bang it made, the people were coming up, and an old guy coming up in his boxer shorts, trying to kick my door in. Sammy, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're going to blow us up, you're rigging your gas. I goes, no. So he pushed by me, and he seen what I'd done, and he says, Sammy, you meant to take the shells off the eggs and all that. I says, that was a huge bang, because I didn't take the eggs off the shell and put it in. I just put the eggs in, but a bit of water in the bowl, and turned on it, and there was an explosion. Then I was here for about a year with that. My alcohol continued, and it got worse. Then things got bad. One day I went out for a loaf of bread, and I was living in Kilmarnock at this time, but I went out for a loaf of bread, but ended up in Inverness, Tesco's, at 2:15 in the morning, with my clothes inside out, back to front, a red van, one foot, and a Timberland boot on the other foot, and back to front, yeah. And it ended up in Tesco's in Inverness, still looking for this loaf. The guy knew there was something wrong with me, phoned the police, and my communication was to get through. They got the traffic boys in and fingerprinted me, and I was missing from Kilmarnock, so they had to take me back. After I returned home, I was in and out of hospital, and my consultant was gave me warning after warning. I was yellow, green. My blood samples, I'm telling him no drinking, and he's going, but you've got alcohol in that bottle, Sam. I said, because we test you for blood every week. He says, we can, it's not like what you're doing. So he took me into the ward, and the liver ward, and it was stinking. I said, what's that smell? He says, that's people, Sammy, like, what's going to happen to you? They're needing a liver and they can't get it, and they're slowly dying, and it's not a nice death. And the blood samples I was getting back weren't good. He told me to stop drinking immediately, and or I would die. I had a good doctor during this time. She tried to help me with medication to get off, and she was a good doctor, but all I wanted to do was drink. I just couldn't stop. And let me turn the page. It's huge. I attended a place called Ad Action. During the visit, my worker, he was concerned because I wasn't making sense then, and he took me straight to the doctor, and I was seen immediately. And she asked me my date of birth, and I couldn't even tell her it. And she automatically phoned the ambulance and they took me into hospital. Alex stayed with me that night to 9 o'clock at night, and he'd been with me all day, and he was working for a recovery company called Ad Action at the time. I think it's We Are With You now, it's called. But he had to go because there were no beds, and I think they were expecting Alex to take me home, and that just wasn't happening. So Alex left, then I get detained because I was unsafe to be outside, to be honest with you. And I was unsafe to be put back to my home. I went through the detox programme in Woodland View, which was very hard, and I required a lot of medication. I felt like a shelly man. I didn't know who I was. I was broken, and my body didn't feel like mine, my head didn't feel like mine. One time I ran away from the ward and I had telling my thing you put in your for pee, I don't know how to pronounce it. And I was hiding in the water in the woods next to Woodland View. The Kent, I was there, and roughly there, and the police were shouting for the dogs to come out and try and sniff me out. And then they shouted again because I could hear them. And the dogs are on a job, then the police dogs there. There's no help for 2.5 hours, and they said phone. I think it was Helimed 99, and I heard the horn above me, so I just started smoking my vape, and that's it. We can see you now. How the fuck are we going to get you out of there? So, I wasn't even really much out also going. I was returned to hospital. I tried running away again, but I was always brought back. Once I detoxed and more settled, I was moved into a care home for a bit. I enjoyed it there. There was a large garden, and I worked with a guy that had been there for years, all woolly. And he had 6 fingers and 6 toes, and he had gloves that fitted them. And he showed me what to do, because I'm a gardener. And so that was me allowed out in the garden, growing vegetables. They go as a polytunnel, we're going tomatoes, cucumbers and things. However, it didn't work out, and I was deemed as I was too vulnerable, a very, very vulnerable individual. I was readmitted to Woodland View. When I was admitted to Woodland View, I was put back on another section, and it was a compulsory treatment order. And I struggled with this because I'd feed him one day, then I was back restricted again. I experienced a relapse around Christmas. Drink managed to get into the ward. I got a quarter of a bottle of vodka, to tell you the truth, and I became so unwell after drinking that. I lost 9 days just with drinking that small amount. The police had to be called to the ward several times because of my behaviour, as I was often taking it out in the male staff that was trying to run the place. And there was, for a while, I struggled. I wouldn't talk to anybody, but there was a nurse that he was retired, and he started again, and he was ready for retiring, and old Billy, and he started talking to me. Put your trainers on, we'll go out for a walk in. He said, fuck off, you just my trainers on, you just what, fire the buzzers and all the men will come in, and it's trouble. And I said, no, Sammy, put your trainers on. He says, because I'm sick of hearing every time I come onto this ward, all I get is you. So I need a walk in the Woodland View as well. So he took us out in the grounds, and I built up a kind of relationship with him. Then there was four nurses on the ward. There was a loads, but there was, I didn't trust anybody, but there were 4 actually I started talking to, right? And that helped. I was assessed with a clinical team concerned about my ability to look after myself. The OT taken me down to the kitchen. I made beans and toast, cheesy beans. I can't one or the other. And she said, you've done, how do you do? Oh, 10 out of 10, Sam, 10 out of 10. And I went to the next meeting. Ben, you can let me out, I can cook. And he goes, how well do you think you've done? I says, well, tell her, 10 out of 10, she says. And he turned the piece of paper over. Diabolical. Diabolical. When I was making toast and beans, how can that happen? Things started to change because I worked with a guy who, all my life, like Ben Jacuti, he's called, and he put a lot of work into me, and he felt I had potential where others would just want me to go to a clinic. It's a Ailsa. I'm locked up for good, not getting back out, but he says, he's young, he's trying, and I was trying at this time. And he put in a refer to Graham Anderson House. There was a few other companies come in, and I went in and interviewed. They weren't even in 2 minutes. No, we can't have we can't have them. And Ben came in specifically this day because Graham Anderson House was coming to see me, and this is my last chance. He says, Sam, I said, what are you doing? Yeah. He says, Sam, I should be working up at Crosshouse. He says, but I'm in just to make sure you're okay and you're ready to talk because this is your last chance. And he was friendly with one of the doctors that came and see me. So, Nicky Patterson and Mark, I don't know Mark's second name, 2 doctors for Graham Anderson came and seen me and told me there and then, we can help you. And that was great news. And I was admitted to Graham Anderson House. And
okay, so at this point, I'll just tell you a wee bit about what Graham Anderson House is. So Graham Anderson House is based in Springburn. It's a 29-bedded rehab unit, and Sammy was admitted in June of last year for a period of 12 weeks for assessment and rehabilitation. When I first met Sammy, he was very anxious. He'd been moved from an area he knew really well to an area he didn't know at all, and he really wasn't sure what to expect. And it took us a long time to build up trust with him. He did, however, engage in all the therapy sessions that we offered, and you could describe him as a model patient.
After all that, well, I knew I was on my last chance, and it's the people I was working with, the people that I worked close with, they must have knew their day now because it worked. It worked. So I wanted to prove that I could look after myself. The team were able to give me hope and that this is possible. So I put a massive, I concentrated so hard, my head was sick, trying to concentrate to do this. I put in a massive effort and realised this could be the way forward. And I remember saying to the staff, I've achieved everything that I need to, I can't achieve everything that they want in 12 weeks. This is going to be longer than 12 weeks.
So Sammy worked with myself, occupational therapist, psychology, physiotherapy, speech and language therapy, with our nurses, psychiatry and rehabilitation support workers. And the team identified that he needed support in areas of cognition, executive function, everyday living skills, communication and some anxiety work as well. He was offered rehabilitation, which he worked so hard in and took on board all of our guidance and feedback. During his initial 12 weeks with us, his compulsory treatment order was revoked and he became an informal patient. And he worked with all of us to begin to access the community independently and engage in activities that he previously and currently enjoyed. When I first met Sammy, we would make simple things in the kitchen. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And that was one of my biggest ins with Sammy, was something he was really interested in. So we worked together and he actually made his own recipe book. And we did lots of cooking sessions with myself, students or therapy assistants, and that was a big focus of the work that we did. Sammy also took part in activities that were really new to him, things he'd never done before, like attending cold water therapy and sound baths, so he really would give everything a shot.
My favourite sessions in the rehab was the walking football, a good friend of mine there, Paul, cooking, and the OTs that I had. I liked duck and that, and then they showed me how to do it with rice, sweet potato. I'd never tasted a sweet potato in my life. I didn't know what it was, but I do all that now, and it's good. Going for walks with one of my friends. He's here. Enjoyed learning new routes and getting the bus, because I was wary of things like that. I needed to get time to get used to this before I could do it myself. I always had to have somebody with me. Despite finding social solutions, what does that mean?
Social situations.
Despite finding social situations difficult, I was able to posture, and I played guitar. And sometimes we had a wee show at Christmas, and we had a wee show at the guitar, me and another OT. And I was able to get my first ever professional football ever in my life. I loved Hibs years ago. Then I became Celtic, and the very first ever professional football I ever went to, Graham Anderson took me to see Celtic get beat by Hibs, but it was my first game that I'd ever been to. Got all the shots and everything, but I've never been to a game. Oh my God. I was told I was told at one time I would never go to hospital. But with the help of Graham Anderson, I was given the keys to a new world. I could see a future, because you're never going to you're going to a clinic type thing. You're not getting out. And Graham Anderson worked, and they got me supported living in Mauchline in Ayrshire, and that's where I am just now, and it was through Graham Anderson. If it wasn't for Graham Anderson, I don't know where I'd be.
So Sammy stayed with us for a further 12 weeks after his initial period of rehab, and then his social worker started to look for new places for him. So he was offered his place in his supported living flat, and we started to kind of prep for discharge. We spent a lot of time buying furniture for your new place, spending time at his flat, exploring the new area, and identifying activities that you wanted to do once you were discharged.
Now I've moved into my flat. I've been there for a wee while, and I've been discharged for Graham Anderson, and as Lauren says, I received report from the staff who are always on site. I've started going to church, a thing I'd never done in my life, and because I did try it, but I was no well. You can't drink him, a bottle of wine, no bloke can go to church. So I can go to church and be honest now. And I did the gym, go for walks, coffees, joined a new local walking football, and I wanted to make my flat homeless. So I continue to play my guitar and reconnect with music and art. I would really like to express my journey through art, because I can actually draw a wee bit. I've done a few. Haven't touched alcohol since that carry on the 9 days in 21 with me and Michelle. I lived in my own flat, and I'm with support, something I never ever thought was possible. And I'm reconnected with my kids, and I'm looking to my life from now on as a much, much better future. Thank you all for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions. And be very careful with drink. It is dangerous. Okay? That was me. I drew myself. I was steaming. And trying to do something sober is hard.
No
Thank you.
problem, Sammy. Thank you.